Stay classy, Golden Eagles. So this is going to be part 2 of classifying quadrilaterals. In the first video, we went over what a trapezoid was. And if you remember correctly, a trapezoid is a four-sided shape that has one pair of parallel lines. And in this situation, our parallel lines are these top two. These two sides, if continued on straight, would connect and they would cross, therefore they're not vertical. The other one that we looked at was a parallelogram. And a parallelogram is defined as having opposite sides that are parallel. So this side and this side are parallel. This side and this side are parallel. But the distinction between that is that each side is the exact same length. So this side is 5 inches and these two sides are 4 inches. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to look at is called a rhombus. And a rhombus can be classified for a couple different reasons. It's that opposite sides are parallel, which is exactly what was the same thing with the parallelogram, where the opposite sides are parallel. This side and this side are opposite. This side and this side are opposite. But it was only that this side and this side are the same length, and this side and this side are the same length. The distinction with the rhombus, guys, is that all opposite sides are still parallel. Both sides are parallel. Continued on, they would never cross. But the distinction here is, ladies and gentlemen, is that all four sides are the same exact length. So I measured this out, and if I remember correctly, each side is exactly 4 inches, okay? So opposite sides are parallel. Continued them on left or right, they would not ever cross. Same thing with these two lines. If we continue them on into infinity, upwards or downwards, they would never cross. And all four sides are the same length. Now, some of you guys may be asking yourselves, how am I going to be able to know with a digital copy, or even if you print it out exactly, if you don't happen to have a ruler, if you don't have a printer, you're just going to have to use your best eye guess and just look at the shapes very critically and say, yeah, I can see that that's about the same length as this, and this is about the same length as this, okay? Same thing with the parallelogram. You can be like, oh yeah, I totally can see these two are the same length, but this line and this line, they're not the same length. So you guys are gonna have to use some of your best guesses and your best judgment, okay? Educated guesses, that I like to call them. We have 2 more quadrilaterals. Remember, quadrilaterals are four-sided shapes with 4 angles on the inside. And the last 2 are ones that we're more familiar with, but I wanted to end with them because they're really important. The first one is a rectangle. And a rectangle, you can identify a rectangle quite easily because opposite sides are parallel. This side and this side. If you continue it on, they'll never cross. This side and this side, if you continue them up and down either direction, they would never cross. But the distinction is, with a rectangle and a square, is that they are not equal length. Again, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but if I remember right, this top line was 5 inches, this line was 5, and this was 4, and this was 4. And you can clearly look at it and notice that this line is significantly bigger than this line. Therefore, it is a rectangle. Now, we talked previously with the trapezoid about having acute, obtuse, and right angles. Remember, angles are where 2 lines meet up, okay? The distinction, though, and that was the same thing for parallelograms. Parallelograms can have acute angles, they can have obtuse. Rhombuses can have obtuse, acute, and right angles. But the big distinction here, in a rectangle, all 4 angles must be right angles. That's where 2 perfectly straight lines connect, and that equals 90 degrees. So a rectangle must have 4 right angles, and it has to have opposite sides that are parallel and of equal length. Okay, so parallel and equal, but not all 4 of the lengths are equal. That's where our friend, the square, comes in. Now, a square. The key thing with a square is that all 4 sides are the same length, and all sides are opposite sides are parallel, and there's also 4 right angles. So let's take a look. So the pairs are parallel. Pairs are parallel. You could continue those lines on into infinity and they would never cross. They are all exactly the same length. I remember I measured this one. This is 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, and 3 inches. And now, guys, I know I'm using the word inches a lot, and you guys probably aren't going to be able to measure them. But with your eyes, I bet you can look at this and be like, yeah, with certainty, I bet those are the same length. okay? And also, a square must have 4 right angles where perfectly straight lines meet up, okay? So, we went over those, and I'm going to accompany some videos here in the next couple days that are going to review. The first one was a trapezoid. A trapezoid has only one pair of parallel lines. The top line and the bottom line here happen to be parallel, okay? And it has acute and obtuse, and it could have right angles. A parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel and that are of equal length. So this side and this side are parallel and are the same length, and this side and this side are parallel, but not all 4, this side and this side, are not of the same length. A rhombus is where opposite sides are parallel and where all the sides are the same length. A rectangle, sorry, I forgot to say, and this has acute, obtuse, and it potentially could have right angles inside of it. Rectangle must have all 4 of their vertices, points where lines meet up, be right angles, must have opposite sides be parallel. This is parallel with this is parallel with this, and opposite sides must be of the same length, but not all 4 sides are the same length. That's where the square is. Has all 90-degree angles, has opposite sides are parallel, parallel and parallel, and all 4 sides are exactly the same length. Guys, if you have any questions or any comments on that, watch the video again, comment in the section below, or email myself or Mr. Holt. Okay, this is a little bit of a challenging topic, but we can get together through this. Tomorrow there'll be some more practice on this, and there'll be some more videos that go along with that. I will hopefully help you guys with any questions you may have. As always, stay classy, Golden Eagles.